There's something you need to understand about eating late at night that goes way beyond just calories or fasting windows. The time of day when you eat has profound effects on your circadian system, your sleep quality, and your metabolic health through mechanisms that have nothing to do with how long you've been fasting. This matters tremendously if you're considering intermittent fasting protocols that allow eating right up until bedtime, or if life circumstances force you to eat late. Let's talk about what happens physiologically when you eat close to bedtime. Your insulin sensitivity drops significantly in the evening hours. The same meal that causes a modest blood sugar rise at noon might cause a much larger spike at 9 p.m. Your pancreas has to secrete more insulin to handle the same amount of carbohydrate. This isn't about being in a fasted state earlier. It's about your body's natural circadian rhythms that prepare you for sleep and fasting overnight, not for digestion and nutrient processing. The thermic effect of food, the energy your body burns just digesting and processing nutrients, is substantially lower at night. You literally burn fewer calories processing the same meal in the evening compared to morning. Some research suggests this difference might be 15 to 20%, which actually adds up if you consistently eat most of your calories late. An evening heavy eating pattern might contribute to weight gain even with identical total calories compared to front-loading your intake earlier in the day. Sleep architecture gets disrupted when you eat close to bedtime, especially if you're eating large meals or high-fat foods that take longer to digest. Your body is trying to do two conflicting things simultaneously. It's trying to enter sleep mode with reduced core temperature, parasympathetic nervous system dominance, and growth hormone secretion. But it also has to maintain active digestion with elevated core temperature, sympathetic activation, and insulin secretion. These processes conflict. Studies using sleep monitoring show more fragmented sleep, reduced time in deep sleep stages, and overall worse sleep quality when people eat within 2 to 3 hours of bedtime. Here's where it gets really interesting from a metabolic standpoint. Growth hormone secretion, which happens primarily during deep sleep and is crucial for tissue repair, muscle maintenance, and fat metabolism, gets suppressed by insulin. If you eat right before bed and spike insulin, you're interfering with this important overnight growth hormone pulse. Over time, this might affect body composition, recovery from exercise, and metabolic health independent of total calories or fasting duration. Overnight glucose levels tell an important story too. When you eat late, your blood sugar can remain elevated throughout the night. Continuous glucose monitoring studies show that late eaters often have higher nocturnal glucose levels. This means your body is working through the night to bring down glucose rather than enjoying a period of true metabolic rest. This constant metabolic work might contribute to insulin resistance over time. For shift workers, this creates a particularly difficult problem. Your work schedule forces you to eat at times that conflict with your body's natural circadian rhythms. No amount of fasting timing optimization can fully compensate for the fundamental circadian misalignment of eating when your body expects to sleep. Research on shift workers consistently shows higher rates of metabolic disease, cardiovascular problems, and even cancer risk. This isn't just about diet. It's about chronic circadian disruption that happens when eating patterns are forced out of alignment with the light-dark cycle. So, what's the practical recommendation? Ideally, finish eating at least 2 to 3 hours before your typical bedtime. If you sleep at 11 p.m., aim to finish dinner by 8 p.m. This gives your body time to handle digestion, allows insulin to come down before sleep, and sets you up for better sleep quality. If you practice intermittent fasting, an early eating window like 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. aligns much better with circadian biology than noon to 8 p.m., even though both are 8-hour windows. But I recognize life isn't always ideal. If you work evening shifts, have family dinners that run late, or exercise in the evening and need post-workout nutrition, you can't always eat early. In those cases, consider harm reduction strategies. Keep late meals smaller and lower in refined carbohydrates and saturated fat. Focus on easily digestible options. Don't eat so late that you're going to bed on a full stomach. If you must eat late due to work or exercise timing, at least maintain consistency so your body can adapt to your schedule as much as possible. The key insight is that the timing of your eating window relative to your sleep-wake cycle matters potentially more than just the length of your fasting period. You could fast for 16 hours, but if 12 of those hours are during the day when you're active and your last meal is right before bed, you're missing key circadian advantages. Conversely, even a more modest fast with an early eating cutoff might provide significant circadian and sleep quality benefits. Think about when you're eating, not just how long you're fasting.